How's everybody doing? My name is Alan Roberts. Welcome back. I took a couple of days off. It was our the 20th anniversary of my wife and I's first date, so we always celebrate that as a day together. Plus, I had a little bit of a head cold, feeling much better right now. Thank you very much. But so on this channel, there's normally a lot of ranting, raving, and there's normally a lot of and this is something to definitely rant and rave about, but I am going to maintain my composure, and I am going to try very, 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 very hard not to swear, as I think that this is very important information to disseminate to everybody. And while I do a lot of comedy and I do a lot of like the whole sarcastic stick that I have, because that's literally my personality. Like I can't even possibly change it. I'm going to tone down the sarcasm today. And I am going to not swear today. And to any woman that watches me, which my audience is mostly women, even though that drives people crazy, my audience is about 92% women, 8% men. And to the men that watch that happen to love any woman in their life, please pay attention to what I'm about to share with you, because I'm a very big advocate that we should never trust the healthcare industry, especially about long-term health. They are very, very, very good for acute care, but when it comes to taking care of your longevity and your health span, not just lifespan, but your health span, they're woefully inadequate, and they are not even trained to do those things. Frankly, anytime a doctor treats metabolic disorder in any way, they are completely committing malpractice because they have no idea what causes it. They get no nutrition training, and most chronic illness is lifestyle driven. Now, that said, I will always say, and I always mean this, that there is a matter of personal responsibility that is lacking from our society that needs to be addressed. However, this is also something that absolutely needs addressed that might help people take better accountability. Because, in short, we are very, very big on this. Like, we are very, very big on TRT. Like, I'm about to take TRT today. I've been on TRT since December. When I tell you that having my male hormones brought back to the levels that they were when I was in my early 20s has been life-changing for me, it is a massive understatement. Old injuries healed that I thought were just old man stuff that's going to stay. I leaned out easier than I had in a long time. I'm pretty lean right now, and I have not been hitting the gym very hard because I am definitely hard at work on a major project that I'm hoping to be able to tell all of you guys about here within the next week or so. But it has made my life tremendously easier. It has helped with anxiety. It's helped with my sleep. It's helped with my mood. It's helped with everything because my hormones are at optimal levels. And it's not optimal levels for an age. There is not an optimal levels for an age. There are optimal levels. And very frankly, when you look at men's health, the average 20-year-old today has the testosterone levels of the average 70-year-old from 20 years ago. So very frankly, it is just something we should have throughout the course of most of our life that diminishes. Now, men's hormonal balance is actually rather easy. It's it's testosterone, free test, and a few other things, and you got to watch out for increased estrogen to build up. But women's hormones are radically complicated. They are not an easy thing. There's 3 different separate hormones that you must watch for, including testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. And they are very, very, very important, and they have very serious ratios that, just like male hormones, have optimal health ranges. Now, I am going to say this and preface this that I am not a doctor. However, I can read research really, 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 really well and understand it. That's why doctors refuse to debate me on COVID and those sorts of things, because they know I'd hand them their butt. Notice how I did not use the A word, because I'm not swearing in this video. I am super proud of myself. If my ears start bleeding, somebody tell me. So I was sitting down with the wife over the weekend, and she shared this video with me. And I am going to do a whole series on women's hormonal health, because I don't think it's talked about nearly enough now that I've done this research. Because what happens to me is, like, something will catch my attention, and I will learn everything I can learn about it. Everything. And I'm not through the process yet. I don't know everything there is about female hormones. But I'm telling you right now, I've come to some very, very, very serious conclusions that all of you are going to want to listen to, and all of you are going to want to hear. If you are a woman, if you are a mother of a female, if you love any females in your life, and if you don't love a female in your life and you're a male, leave. I don't even want you watching my stuff. I just don't. And if you're a female that doesn't love any females in your life, that means you don't love yourself and you should go get some psychiatric help. Just honestly. But it started to occur to me that after watching these videos of these women trying to get help with their female hormones, wondering why their hair is thinning, wondering why they're getting moody, all these things, that it turns out that like doctors literally will not, I mean, they're more resistant to giving women HRT than men TRT. And that's kind of crazy because it's not easy to get TRT as a man, technically. Most of the time, your doctor will not prescribe it to you. You have to go to a clinic. And women, it's even worse. There are about just as many women on hormone replacement therapy as like a fifth of men or something like that. It's a weird statistic, but I'm going to argue that women, even more than men, need to be on HRT. There are many things that aren't talked about in society that I think is wild, but I want all of you to think and answer in the comments section for those of you that are watching live. Whenever you think of a man, and whenever you think of somebody having a heart attack, it's always a man, right? Like, I mean, for me, like whenever you see it in movies, TV, anything like that, it's always portrayed as some man who has not taken care of himself and they die of a heart attack. They grasp their chest and they fall down, right? That is the image that I think, at least for me, and tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But at least for me, that is the image that immediately happens, is that I think like, oh, well, heart attack, man, almost all the time. Meanwhile, women have more cardiac events than men by a decent margin. So this is a very funny thing. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Yes, that's from Sanford and Son. For those of you that don't know what that is, go back and watch it. But it is always viewed as just a man, and I just want to say that is not close to true. Women have many, many problems, and we are going to. I wrote an article about this, and the article will be published on both my my X, and I'll put it in the my community tab thing on YouTube, right? But you'll be able to read it on X if you want to. Here it is. I'm going to go down this list, and I want everybody to understand I'm not a doctor, but you don't need to be a doctor to be right about things. You don't need to have an MD to be right about things, especially in the world where you can literally research anything at the tips of your fingers. And if you have enough intelligence about yourself to try to learn how to understand everything, this is going to be eye-opening for many of you. And also, the things we are going to talk about tomorrow, because I am going to come back and do another video on this tomorrow, you will want to listen and you will want to ask your doctor to see your chart. If you go to your doctor and they ask them to see your complete chart, look for an acronyms like WW. It stands for whiny woman in the chart. And there's many other acronyms like for that, like, which is completely unprofessional, but that is also what I am also thinking that the healthcare industry is. It's a bunch of people who think they know everything, who know a very, very, actually very narrow scope of how to take care of health, that think that's the only way. And I prove that all the time, seeing as how I'm in better shape than 90% of doctors, and 40% of our clientele for our coaching is doctors and nurses. They come to us for help because they can't figure it out themselves with all the vast medical knowledge that they have. But this is Proactive Hormone Management, a lifelong strategy for women's vitality, longevity, and well-being. I'll try not to stop all the way through a bunch of times, but I am going to add my thoughts to, like, as I go on, whatever pops in my head, without swearing. I promise you, I'm not going to swear in this entire video. I'm promising myself, do it. Okay, here we go. Ladies and the men that deeply care about the women in your lives, whether you're a partner, father, brother, son, or friend, this message is for you. Imagine a world where the natural changes of aging don't have to mean suffering through exhaustion, mood swings, or gradual loss of the energy and joy that define a full life. For women, the subtle shifts in hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone that begin as early as the late 30s can quietly erode health, leading to preventable struggles that affect not just body, but the mind and spirit too. Healthspan, the number of years you live feeling strong, sharp, and vibrant, is just as important as a lifespan. The total years you have, yet too often These hormonal changes are dismissed as just a part of getting older, leaving women to navigate them alone. It's time to change this narrative. By taking hormone health seriously through regular checkups and through interventions like hormone replacement therapy, we can empower women to thrive well into their later years. Men, your support, encouraging discussions with doctors, attending appointments, and simply listening can make all the difference. This isn't about vanity. It's about preserving quality of life, preventing disease, and ensuring the women you love can continue to be the pillars of strength that they are. Let's dive deeper into what we were talking about. Now, just so everybody grasps, again, one more time, I have to say, I'm not a medical professional, but I am going to urge you, if you are a woman and you are having any of the symptoms that we talk about in here, please go and have your hormones checked out. And especially if you have been on birth control, hormonal birth control since an early age, you should likely get your hormones checked very, very, very early. Like in your 20s, you should start probably having them checked. And men, if you're out there too, just as a caveat, as I said earlier in this video, the average testosterone level of the average 20-year-old right now is that of a 70-year-old back then. If your testosterone levels are below 500, you should go on TRT, in my opinion, of course. And my opinion, of course, is based off all the data where it clearly shows that the ranges that they put out for male TRT, which is 300 to 1,000, is the good range, should very likely be 500 to 1,200, boosted up too, because once you hit 500, you are a shell of your former self, and you are not going to feel good. Mine was at like 323, and I felt like I was about to just crumble and cry into a corner. Now I feel like I can take on an entire army. And the same goes for women, even more so, because men, when we get older, we basically lose muscle mass, which does kill you. It's bad for cardiac and diabetes, all those things. But there are so many more things that happen to women when it comes to hormone replacement therapy and missing out on hormones. So I will argue that every single one of you, women out there, if you have not had your hormones checked and you are 30 or older, you should have a hormone panel run on you, and you should listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. And do not take no for an answer. Paying out of pocket for TRT is not that expensive if they will not cover it with your insurance. And if they won't cover it with the insurance, you should get different insurance. That's all I'm saying. And you do not, your doctor, if your doctor will not give you HRT when your levels are below any of these ones I'm about to talk about or not in the ranges that I'm about to talk about, you should ask them why, because you have informed consent and you are telling them that these are the issues. Women need to stop letting doctors dismiss them. They need to stop letting doctors dismiss them. And also, by the way, we're going to do a whole thing on birth control, because there are radical correlations between going on birth control when you're younger and developing hypothyroidism, PCOS, all sorts of things that women nowadays claim to be it's just their body and everything like that. It's a very, very, very serious issue that our society needs to face, because I believe we are, and I'm not going to say on purpose, but I do believe that we are hurting the women of the world, of America especially, because America, we have all sorts of endocrine disruptors in our food, and the population we have now is just a shadow of what we used to be. But anyway, we want to understand the hormones at play. Here's a simple breakdown. Before we get to the solutions, let's break these down into key hormones in everyday terms. Think of hormones as chemical messengers in your body. And by the way, I wrote this article to make sure that it's not using medical vernacular, that if it does, it explains the medical vernacular, it explains the medical language, so you guys can understand it. And that is also what your doctor should do. Just to be clear, your doctor should explain to you in terms you understand everything about what they're telling you about your tests, the prescriptions they're giving you, everything. They should make it so they explain it to you thoroughly in language you understand. And if they do not, then they should not prescribe you anything, and they should not give you treatment, because if you do not understand the treatments or the therapies that they are giving you, you do not have informed consent, and that is against their Hippocratic oath. So just be clear about that. Now, before we explore the solutions, let's break these down into key hormones in everyday terms. The chemicals are a messenger of your body. They travel through your bloodstream and tell different parts how to function, from your brain to your bones. So now we have estrogen. Estrogen is the one that everybody associates with women, of course. Both men and women have estrogen, by the way, especially very fat men. Very fat men have a lot more estrogen because fat is estrogenic. And that's another reason why sometimes, not sometimes, but things like endometriosis, things like that, like cervical cancer, those sorts of things. They're all estrogen driven. So that's why morbidly obese women tend to get those at a higher propensity. Like there's like 13 to 20 different types of cancers that are more associated with obesity than they are with even smoking. So estrogen, often called the female hormone, estrogen is like the conductor from the orchestra, keeping everything in harmony. It helps regulate your menstrual cycle through monthly processes where your body prepares for possible pregnancy, support bone strength, keep your skin elastic, and even protect your heart by maintaining healthy blood vessels. There are different types, but estradiol is the main one we're talking about here. As women approach premenopause, the early stages before menopause, when periods become irregular, estrogen levels start to fluctuate and drop, leading to symptoms like hot flashes and mood swings. So you're not crazy, by the way, and you're not moody. And men, understand this. If she is, and this could happen in their early 30s in today's world. If they all of a sudden seem to have some sort of personality change, or they seem moody or something like that, maybe you should suggest to them that they get their hormones checked in a very polite way, because they're moody and you don't want to suffer the consequences. But it might not even be them. And I can tell you personally, from personal experience, not that I'm a woman, but when my hormone levels were off, I was very moody, and it was not good for me, Progesterone, this hormone acts as estrogen's balancing partner. It's crucial during the second half of your menstrual cycle, preparing your uterus womb for pregnancy if it happens. Beyond that, it claims that it calms the nervous system, helping to sleep and reduce anxiety. Without enough progesterone, estrogen can be dominant, causing issues like heavy periods and breast tenderness. Testosterone. Yes, women produce this too, though it's in smaller amounts than men. It's just not about muscle and libido, sex drive. It boosts energy, maintains muscle mass, and supports bone health. Low levels can leave you feeling drained and less motivated. These hormones don't decline overnight. Premenopause, also known as perimenopause, is like a gradual. I don't know why I typed that twice. My apologies. A gradual transition phase starting in your 30s and 40s, where levels begin to waver. Full menopause hits. In fact, I'm on preview. I'll edit it later. Full menopause hits when periods stop completely, usually around age 51, and post-menopause follows. The drop in these messengers can accelerate aging processes, but the good news is we can intervene and keep these levels steady, mimicking balanced state of your younger years, just like we do for men with TRT. Just like it. It's a little bit more complex because obviously there's 3 hormones versus the 1 or 2 that men worry about. Like, for instance, I am also on an estrogen blocker, because we don't want any extra testosterone turning into estrogen to me, right? Not blocker, it minimizes it. But anyway, women picture this just as you might get an annual checkup for blood pressures or cholesterol. Adding hormone tests to your routine can be a game changer, starting at the early age of 35 or even younger. If you're noticing signs like unexpected tiredness, irregular periods, and low energy, this could be early whispers of an imbalance. Men, if the women in your life mention these, encourage her to speak to her doctor on the next visit. And if your doctor will not give you a hormone panel, a female hormone panel, ask them why. And if they give you some sort of answer besides, I'm sorry, I'll get it for you, go to an HRT clinic immediately. Your doctor is your employee. You pay your doctor. They should not dictate stuff to you. They should explain it to you. And if they can't explain it to you well, then it is not their business. Then you need to get a new one. This is more important than any other thing. We will put a woman who gets moody in her 40s on mood stabilization medications because we think she has bipolar, when in actuality, it's probably her hormones diminishing. And this happens all the time, by the way. All the time. Like, women are the most medicated demographic, out of the 2. By far. The average woman is on a daily pharmaceutical medication for 64 years. That is insanity. That means that you are a slave to the healthcare industry. Now, we are talking right now about being on hormone replacement therapy. However, you can be on hormone replacement therapy and likely avoid all the other problems, or get all the other problems and feel horrible at the same time. And that's my point to you. So, men, if you notice that women have these issues, talk to them. Monitoring involves simple blood tests to measure levels. Aim to keep estrogen, between 10 to 20 pg per milliliter, a unit of measure of tiny amounts in your blood. Progesterone is 5 to 15 nanograms per milliliter. This is like the levels amounts in your fertility phase of your cycle, and testosterone at 30 to 50 nanograms per deciliter. These targets reflect the stable youthful ranges before decline sets in, and there's absolutely no reason to not let you keep them that way. It will help your health, long-term and short-term. It will improve your quality of life, long-term and short-term. It will likely very seriously improve your longevity, not to mention your health span, and the quality of life you will have will be as if you were younger. Now, will you still look a little like it won't stop aging, but it will definitely slow it down. It keeps your skin more elastic. So many things we're about to get to, right? Why so early? Research shows that catching dips before they worsen allow for preventative steps, reducing risk of serious issues down the line. Tools like wearable devices, think fitness trackers, can even help predict changes by monitoring patterns in sleep, heart rate, and activity, giving your data to share with doctor. Now, I'm not a huge fan of wearables, by the way, but I understand why people have them. However, I do think that women, if you're out there, you should be keeping a very serious, detailed log of how good your sleep is, how many hours you're sleeping. For instance, one of the things we ask all of our clients in our coaching, how many hours did you sleep and how did you wake up? If you slept 6 hours and that used to be very refreshing for you, but then all of a sudden you sleep 6 hours and you feel exhausted and angry, there's a change there somehow. And if all remains the same, if you still have the same kind of sleep hygiene routine the night before, then very, very, very seriously, you should get checked out, This isn't about over medicalized life. It's about empowerment. Know your body and act before small things become. And if we talk about the medicalization, I just wanted to take a minute and talk to you about this. Yes, we're talking about being on a pharmaceutical medication. And I'm not a big fan of the pharmaceutical industry, 100%. But again, one more time, every 4 days. So I take TRT. But that's because I can take TRT and I can avoid taking heart medication, blood pressure medication. I can avoid taking something for my mood. I can avoid taking something for my blood pressure. And I can keep my heart healthy, and I can stave off sarcopenia by keeping the muscle mass on my body that I like for both my aesthetics and for being able to function, So the choice is this or normally a slew of other things. If levels are off, hormone replacement therapy, HRT, steps in. HRT is essentially supplementing your body's natural hormones with medications that replace what's missing. Bioidentical HRT uses compounds chemically identical to your body's own hormones, making them gentler and more natural fit. Studies show starting HRT early, ideally within 10 years of menopause set-in or before the age of 60, can slash overall death risks by up to 38%, cut heart problems by 39 to 54%, and even lower diabetes chances by improving how your body handles sugar, insulin sensitivity. And I'm sorry I get a little choked up about that, but I think about all the women in my life that have never even been given this option who have problems now. This research upset me. And I don't talk about that often. This research upset me so much. That is the reason why this is a very serious video. No swearing. I want to be able to make sure that everybody can get to this video and I want everybody that watches this to share this with the women in your life, with the men that love women in your life. Share it with everybody, not just so I can make money. If you notice, there is no link for an HRT or TRT clinic. Find a good one. I'm not trying to, this is not about me trying to monetize this information. This is about me. I'm not even putting the article behind a paywall. I'm going to post it as many places as I can because this information needs to get out. Women do not need to suffer the way they've been suffering, and they can stay healthier longer. But I will point out to you the same reason why they don't want men on TRT is they don't want women on TRT because you make them less money by being healthy. Dramatically less money by being healthy. It's like giving a body a steady supply of fuel to keep it running smoothly. For women with premature ovarian insufficiencies, when ovaries stop working before the age of 40, extended HRT to mimic normal cycles until typical menopause age prevents early bone and heart issues. Men supporting this means understanding this is not optional. It's a proven way to protect her health. There is I'm just going to let you know, there's no way you hate the healthcare industry enough. The healthcare industrial complex is an evil worldwide cartel, criminal cartel that wants us fat, sick, weak, and dependent upon them. This research like crushed me. Some of the videos I'm going to show you tomorrow are crushing to me, like crushing. And I normally try to joke around about everything, and this is not something to joke about. It's just not. Combine this with healthy habits like regular exercise, balanced diet, rich in nutrients, and stress management. These naturally supporting hormone levels and amplified HRT benefits. Large-scale data from hundreds of thousands of women show this holistic approach reduces chronic disease and boosts daily vitality. The mental health toll, this is about to upset many of you. Many of you. This is about to really upset you. The mental health toll of hormonal decline and how to safeguard it. Hormonal shifts don't just affect the body, they can profoundly impact mental well-being, turning everyday life into a struggle. Women, if you felt more irritable, down, or foggy-headed, know you're not alone, and it's not all in your head. Men, recognize that these signs in your loved ones and urge professional help can be life-saving. Depression and mood disorders. When estrogen dips, it can disrupt brain chemicals like serotonin, the feel-good messenger, increase the risk of feeling persistently sad or hopeless. Mood disorders are like emotional storms that have daily tasks overwhelming, that make daily tasks overwhelming. HRT helps stabilize these levels, easing symptoms and preventing full-blown depression during pre- and post-menopause. Progesterone calms the system to reduce swings, while testosterone lifts overall emotional energy. So as you get older and you realize you're going through the change, and your doctor then puts you on some sort of mood stabilizer because you're already depressed because your hormone levels are low, and you see the physical changes that could also be staved off in your body. Understand this. They're putting you on something to band-aid a problem that is not going to go away, is only going to like to get more and more. That's why women, once they go on mood stabilizers or antidepressants or anything like that in their early 40s, because they're going through the change, that's why they reach max dose normally by the time they're 60. And that's a fact also. Anxiety and negative effect. Anxiety feels like a constant worry or a racing heart, often worsens by hormonal fluctuations that heighten stress responses. Negative effect is the persistent cloud of pessimism. HRT's protective effects on the brain can dial that down, restoring calm. Cognitive decline, memory issues, and dementia. Cognitive decline is a gradual slowing of thinking, like forgetting names and losing focus. Dementia, including Alzheimer's, is a severe memory loss that interferes with independence. Estrogen protects brain areas like the hippocampus, which is the memory center, and early HRT can slow this. Testosterone helps maintain brain structure for better recall. Sleep disorders and insomnia. Insomnia is trouble falling or staying asleep, often due to night sweats or racing thoughts from low hormones. HRT tackles the root cause with progesterone acting like a natural sedative. Psychosis and bipolar disorder. Psychosis involves losing touch with reality, like hallucinations, while bipolar features extreme mood highs and lows. Perimenopause can worsen these. HRT provides stability for those affected. If you are diagnosed bipolar, and before you go on that fucking sorry, I swore. I will try to edit that out. Before you go on any medications, have them test your hormone levels too. Have them check your hormone levels first. Do not just let them put you on a mood stabilizer. Do not just let them put you on some sort of antipsychotic or anything like that. Have them test your hormone levels too. Have them test it. I'm very sorry I swore in this video. To those of you that were watching with my promise of not swearing, I'm very sorry, but this is an incredibly horrific topic. It's just horrific that we're doing this to women. It's horrific that we are doing. Women are life. Women are life. They're the womb. Without the womb, our race dies. Everybody grasps that, right? That's why it's so important. That's why I'm so hard on obese women, because you are hurting the womb. You are hurt. Like, you are not going to be a fruitful member of society. You are burdensome to society, all those things, but you are the life of our breed. You are the life of our species. And I'm not saying every woman needs to have a baby. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that you should at least take care of your health that way. And men, we need women to be healthy. Otherwise, there is no us. Get there faster. Taking mental health seriously means recognizing these links and acting early. Therapy alongside HRT can be transformative. Protecting the body, physical conditions and preventions. The physical effects of hormone decline can be just as debilitating, turning effective lives into ones limited by pain or weakness. By maintaining levels, we can avoid or ease these. Cardiovascular disease, heart failure, and osteoporosis. Cardiovascular disease includes heart attacks and strokes. Heart failure is when the heart can't pump well. Osteoporosis is plaque buildup in the arteries, blood highways. Estrogen keeps vessels flexible. HRT reduces risk, and testosterone aids in blood flow. Osteoporosis and bone loss. Osteoporosis makes bones brittle and prone to breaks. HRT slows absorption, bone breakdown, slows reabsorption, bone breakdown, and testosterone strengthens your bones. Metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and insulin resistance. Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of issues like high blood pressure and belly fat. Diabetes is a poor blood sugar control. Insulin resistance is when cells ignore insulin, the sugar regulator. HRT improves this with all three hormones playing a role. So the thing is, if everybody realized that about $1 trillion a year is used for diabetes care in America, type 2 diabetes care, not just type 1, type 2, they know they can stop it. Through lifestyle and hormone therapy, type 2 diabetes would be almost non-existent. Reality exists. The vaginal dryness, sexual dysfunction. I'm not going to try to sound like the real name. This involves discomfort in intimate areas due to thinning tissues. HRT restores moisture and function with testosterone boosting desire. Sarcopenia and muscle loss. Sarcopenia is the wasting away of muscle leading to a weakness. HRT helps maintain strength. Hypernatremia and fluid balance. Hypernatremia is low sodium balance caused by causing confusion or seizures. Hormone helps regulate the fluid. And hypertension, high blood pressure, strains the heart. HRT can be a part of safe management. Autoimmune diseases. This is where the immune system attacks the body, like rheumatoid arthritis, and estrogen helps moderate this. Migraines and headaches. Intense headaches triggered by changes. Stable hormones reduce attacks. Anytime you talk to a woman in their 30s or 40s, even early 50s, about their migraines, they all have them, almost always, and they're insanely painful. Insanely. So this is a call to action to make hormone health a priority for today. Women, your health is worth fighting for. Don't wait for symptoms to dictate your life. Schedule that blood test. And here's the thing about the blood test, just so everybody understands. The blood test, because you have a cycle, you may have to get it taken multiple months in a row, once or twice in a row. But if they are low, then you set yourself up to take them again. And if they're low again, then you're good, because women do have a hormonal cycle. And if you are already going through perimenopause, that cycle looks like this. It's crazy. But talk to a good HRT clinic. And again, I don't have a link for one. I do not know of one that can help you guys. I go through a doctor. So please do talk to your doctor. If they won't help you, if your doctor will not help you, go to an HRT clinic after you give your doctor the finger. Because they should do what you want them to do. They're your employee. You are paying them a lot. They are receiving a lot of money from you because they're billing whatever you're doing to insurance, which means you should get your money's worth and make sure that we all get our money's worth. I would much rather have insurance pay for a woman's HRT and all the blood work that goes into her HRT than to pay for the 20 medications. Like the average person over 40 is on like 6 different medications when you could be on just one dose of HRT or one dose of TRT, one medication, and completely fix a lot of these things. Finally, women and the men and their supportive men in their lives, consider seeking care at a specialized HRT or menopause clinic rather than relying solely on your general practitioner or primary care doctor. They are oftentimes not even taught about this. Just so everybody understands, this just like nutrition, they're oftentimes not even taught about this. These dedicated clinics focus exclusively on hormone health and menopausal transition, offering in-depth expertise that many GPs simply do not even have. They're not trained on it. As medical schools and residency programs often provide minimal or no training on menopause management and the nuances of HRT because they want you on the other drugs, because the other drugs make you sicker and they get to treat that sickness and they don't actually treat your problem. They just support it. For instance, surveys reveal that a significant portion of family medicine and internal medicine residents receive little to no education on these topics, leading to gaps in knowledge about symptoms, risks, and personal treatments. In contrast, specialists at these clinics are better equipped to tailor therapies, monitor progress closely, and address complex issues, resulting in higher rates of effective HRT use compared to general practice settings. These specialized approach can make all the difference in navigating this life stage with confidence and optimal health, not hesitating and seeking out experts who truly understand. Don't hesitate to seek out experts who truly understand. So I will take Q&A for a little while. And again, if you have a woman in your life and they are having any of these issues, and I mean, even if they're in their late 20s, you should absolutely, and I mean absolutely, talk to them about going to have their hormones checked. Something could be very, very, very off. And it is not a minuscule thing. It is not a small thing. It is not a minimized thing. It could lead to heart attacks. It could lead to diabetes. It could lead to Alzheimer's. It could help stave off all of these things. And if you want help with any of the lifestyle habits that we were talked about in there, here's a link to our 6-month coaching for the holiday season. It is right here, and it is in the links. I'll put it in the comments once the video is through. But we can help you adjust your lifestyle and build these healthy habits that can help you get your life back from both obesity and the problems that you have with binge eating disorder, or the problems that you have with food, or even when you just want to build healthy habits because you want your hormone levels to be checked out and be correct. A healthy, nutritious diet made up of mostly whole foods, avoiding ultra-processed foods, getting plenty of sleep, plenty of stress relief, plenty of hydration, and getting some physical activity in a day. All of those things are markers to help keep your hormone levels naturally high, yet alone, if they are diminishing, to keep them as high as possible and to make HRT the thing that not only helps you feel better, but helps you excel as you get older. I am not getting older anymore. I am just getting better again. And that is the truth. That is how I feel. That is how I see it. So I'm going to do some Q&A. Please put any questions you want in about anything. And to any of my clients, this is something that I wish I've spoken to a few of you about it, but please understand, if you have had any of these symptoms, I am not your doctor, but I urge you to go to an HRT clinic and get your hormones checked. That's all I'm going to say to you, and I'll tell each of you in our chats too. The insomnia night sweats that feels like you're swimming in a pool is the worst. Yep, it can be mitigated or avoided. Thank you. It hit me very hard too. Yep, hormone panels and blood tests are a snapshot in time. You have to have multiple ones done to get an accurate assessment of whether you're, of course, yeah, because especially when you're going through the change, it's all over the place. Do you think you should make sure your diet, exercise, and sleep are on point for at least like a year before going on HRT? Nope, I do not. Absolutely, I do not. Especially if you are getting older. Absolutely not. Because here's the thing. It's still going to be like if your hormones are out of whack, it makes it exponentially harder. It makes it exponentially harder. Just to be very honest, I was having a hard time getting lean again. I really was getting lean and staying lean. Now I just am lean. I just stay there, and it was not this like horrible task. I have so much more energy, so much more clear thought, because that's the thing. All of that stuff will help bring your natural levels back up, and you can always obviously have them checked again. You're going to have them checked, for like every 6 months. I would have them checked again. But I do think that if the tests show that you have low levels, you should go, like. And this is just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I got to say that all the time, and you can tell I'm not a doctor because I was right about COVID. Go look it up. They were wrong. I was right. It's not even an argument. But please do understand that I am not prescribing anything to you. I am telling you to at least go get checked. And if they're low, you should probably go. You should probably get on it. The HRT clinic will tell you that too. And it's not because they just want to make money. It's just not. It's very unlikely that you will even be, if your hormone levels are crashing, it's very unlikely that you'll be able to stick to those things. And it messes with your metabolism, so many things. So I don't think I would. So I don't think I'd wait. My primary care physician quoted a 90s study that claims it causes breast cancer. There are more recent studies saying otherwise. There are more recent studies saying that it is actually heart protective and cancer protective. But I will tell you this: if your primary care physician also gives 9-year-olds birth control, he is an evil person, because he's claiming that HRT causes breast cancer, but he has no problem putting teenage girls on exogenous hormones. So he's a hypocrite. And tell him I said so. And he can look me up, and if he wants to debate me about it, he can come on live, and I'll shatter his career. Trying to scare people into not getting help is disgusting to me. Should we get our hormones checked even if we're in our 20s or if we're in our 20s or 30s? If you were having any of those symptoms, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. Just like I said, the average 20-year-old male has the testosterone levels of the average 70-year-old male from 20 years ago. So I can't imagine that it's different for women. And look at women right now. The average woman has a 38-inch waist. That's not me making it up. That's the truth. Most women, especially like the average height of women is 5'3". Most women should have like a 25, 26-inch waist, because that's what your bone structure stands for. Unless you're taller, of course, but if you're 5'3", 25, 26 inches is normal. And for those of you like, oh my God, that's so small, mine is 28. So, and for those of you that don't, that's my waist right there. Mine's 28. So I'm a 5'9" muscular male. So I got a newsflash for you. If mine's 28, yours should not be bigger than mine. So, at all. HRT in my area is hormonal birth control. So I'm on it. So I'm on it. There's no difference in my menopause symptoms at all. Got told read a book about it. Go to a clinic. Hormonal birth control is. It's amazing. Here's what I find hilarious. Hormonal birth control. And let's look this up. Let's actually do a little study here. Let's look this up. When did hormonal birth control get invented? Okay, so hormonal birth control, specifically the first oral contraceptive pill, was approved by the FDA on June 23rd, 1960, as a significant mark in contraception, because we can't have the women having babies and stuff like that when the men don't want them to have babies. So if you were born in the 60s, or if you were born in 1960. They put you on hormonal birth control, they had no idea of what it would do to you long term. None. They just put you on it. You cannot trust the FDA. The FDA lies. You need to look at the data, which is what that article did. That article looked at the data. It did not look at anything. It did not look at what the doctors say, because they lie and are stupid about half this stuff. They aren't even taught about this. Any doctor that's telling you it causes cancer or it does this or does that, ask them how many hours they spent studying it in med school. They're likely going to tell you very little or zero. They are towing the company line. They basically are working for the allopathic healthcare system. They want you on as many drugs as possible. That's their care model. And that is, look that up too, because that's not a lie either. It's so wild to me. So incredibly wild to me. But folks, I will be back tomorrow with, one of my normal videos, but we're going to talk more about this too. I am going to start shifting my content a little bit. I just want everybody to know that, because we can no longer afford to just talk. I am going to disseminate as much information to all of you as I can. Watch, don't watch, but please do share with the people that is relevant to in your lives. Every single one of you should share this video or the article that I'm going to put out with somebody else. They don't need to watch me. They don't need to subscribe. They don't need to watch a single other video I do, but they should watch this one. This one is very important, because this one shows you that you losing your hair, you starting to be forgetful, you starting to, have night sweats and not be able to sleep and have insomnia and be cranky, and to all of a sudden not be able to keep weight off, and all of a sudden, just start developing a belly, to have to make radical adjustments in your nutrition to just keep weight from coming back on you. If you have had to cut your calories by 25% in a year just to stay the same weight, go get your hormones checked. If you have trouble keeping them off, and I've already said this to many female clients, if you are telling me that you are a 250-pound woman and you're eating 1,600 calories consistently, you are either lying to me and yourself, or you need to go have your hormones checked immediately. Have them check your thyroid, have them check for PCOS, have them check for everything else, but make sure they also check for your hormones. It is malpractice for doctors. And if you're a doctor out there, hear me clear. Because if I have anything to say about it, if I have anything to do about it, I will make sure that this gets to be on the main stage of what we talk about when it comes to health. If your doctor prescribes you medication for any type of symptom that could be because your sex hormones are low as a man or a woman, that should be considered malpractice. That should be considered them doing harm without knowledge. That is what that should be. We need to start holding doctors and the healthcare industry to task. They are not the arbiters of truth when it comes to health. Half the time, they don't even know how to keep themselves healthy. You have seriously morbidly obese dudes telling me, people like me, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I don't understand health, when in fact, I'm 10 times healthier than they are. So please understand this. Get second opinions. And that second opinion, if your doctor will not test your sex hormones for you, go to an HRT clinic that day. That day. Or make an appointment that day. Because that in of itself, to me, is malpractice. You are presenting something that, like, it's wild to me that we have pharmaceutical commercials, and this is, I'm going to end on this. I'll answer a few more questions after this, but we have pharmaceutical commercials that say, ask your doctor about this drug to stop, anal bleeding or whatever it is, right? And it'll list off 100 different possible problems. But you go ask your doctor about it, and they'll be like, yeah, like the Ozempic. Go ask your doctor about Ozempic. You go to any doctor, like 99% of doctors will be like, oh, you want Ozempic? Here it is. I know you only weigh 100 pounds, but here, it'll help with food noise. That's their new thing, food noise. As if that is a measurable thing that has been studied. It's an opinion, by the way. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, because I had food noise like crazy until I adjusted myself, until I used no morbidity and alchemy to make sure that I got control of my healthy habits. I have not been on no morbidity and alchemy, by the way, for 2 months now. I want to make sure I can maintain myself just in case the world ends. I'm not joking. But reality, if they will put you on Ozempic by you just asking, the very least they could do is run your hormone panel. If they suggest Ozempic for you to lose weight without suggesting first to run your hormone panel, leave the office, refuse that payment, and go use that money for an HRT clinic. And I mean that 100%. If they will give Ozempic to every single person that asks for it, the very least they can do is give a hormone test to every single person that asks for it. They're willing to pay $1,500 to bill $1,500 to insurance because they get a kickback on that. But HRT might make it so you're a little healthier and don't need, the mood stabilizers or the bipolar medication or the type 2 diabetes medication or, things to help you sleep or things to help you stop sweating or things to do this and things to that. It can help with so many systemic issues, all beside the point that it will help keep you feeling and acting young. So if your doctor will not give you a hormone panel, ask them why they would give somebody Ozempic if they asked them, but they will not give you your hormone panel. Ask them dead to their face. Ask them dead to their face and look at their facial expression when you ask them, because they will lie to you. But you will be able to tell from their face that they are not used to hearing that from somebody, and you will be able to tell what the answer actually is. I'll take a few more lives or a few more questions right now, and then we will go I'm going to head off. I'm going to cook some food for me and the lovely wife. Thank you for this, Alan. I'm going to, good. Absolutely do so. Please do. Currently going through this as a 46-year-old female, and it has been almost 6 months. They want to run tests, therapy, food changes, stress, etc. 50-year-old male friend, 3 weeks blood test. Go to an HRT clinic. Go to an HRT clinic. Do not go to them anymore. Go to an HRT clinic today. From Fluffy to Foxy. Go today. Go today. I'm betting it's because you are under 40. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, I just want to tell everybody, I'll be back with some of my normal joking around, screaming, yelling content tomorrow, because I love that stuff. That's how I normally communicate. And I definitely tried to make sure that I toned this down to try to get to as many people as possible. I will be posting that article on both my YouTube tab. Please share as much as possible. And on my X articles, I will share it and post it at the very top of the link. I'm a massive believer in personal responsibility. Massive. I think that we all need to take it upon ourselves to make sure that we stay healthy so we are not a burden to the rest of society. That is just reality. That is numbers. And unfortunately, the way my neurodivergent brain works, I see things very black and white when it comes to things like that. I really do. And I say unfortunately, but I'm very happy for it. For some of you, it's rather unfortunate because I'm just very black and white about these things. However, I am telling you that part of your personal responsibility to make it easier on you should involve you going to your doctor to ask them to get a hormone panel if you are having trouble getting weight off or you have trouble not gaining weight. If they will not give one to you but offer you something else, leave immediately. Get up and walk out of the office and find the closest HRT clinic and go to them, because that's malpractice. I could argue it in court. I'm telling you, do it. Anyway, once again, folks, here is a 6-month special for our coaching. If you want to make sure you can build these healthy habits and you can stay active throughout the holiday season, and instead of gaining the 10 to 15 pounds almost everybody gains the holiday season and then only loses 5 to 10 pounds of it, please do check this out. We normally have all of our clients that take us up on the holiday special. They normally all lose weight over the holidays while enjoying every holiday to its fullest, and they leave that with weight lost instead of weight gained, and they continue with those habits throughout the course of the rest of the year. We have had many people call us, get back a hold of us and say, thanks to you, instead of gaining 10 pounds last holiday season, I lost the 50 pounds I needed to lose throughout the course of this last year. Please do check it out. It's daily communication, weekly video conferences. We would love to help as many of you through the holiday season as possible. It is an incredibly low price for daily communication and weekly video conferences, and we have some really, 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 really exciting things coming up that I cannot possibly share right now. But if you want to get in on the coaching at a very good price that will never be around again, you should do it right now, because then you're grandfathered in, because things are about to change in an incredibly awesome way. But it will change our coaching a little bit too, especially if you are not already a coach. If you're not already a coaching member, it's you're going to have to pay more. But if you are a coaching member, you are going to love what we have for you next. That is the only hint I'm going to give. Don't ask me on the app, because it is in process, but you are going to be very, very happy for it. We have big things changing, big things coming up, and I hope that all of you tune in for it. And please do get your coaching right now. If you have any issues with food, this can help you. Thank you for very much for tuning in. Please share this video with everybody. My name is Alan Roberts. Thank you.